what risk does Bill Gates take? He could come back anytime and finish that degree. So let's say he went to New Mexico. Things didn't work out. He's got wealthy parents in Seattle. He just comes back, graduates a year later. So what was the risk? There was no risk. So if we look at Sir Richard Branson, he wants to start an airline. Now, to start the airline, you need a jumbo 747 that costs like $150 million. That's some serious money. Richard Branson got Virgin Atlantic off the ground with zero risk. So here's what he did. He calls the main Boeing switchboard.
Boeing sold the planes, right?
Yeah, giant, huge company, and says, I'd like to lease a jumbo. They hang up on him. Okay, he calls about 30 times and they keep hanging up. And finally, they get tired of his calls and the lady says, let me put you in touch with somebody who's in charge of leasing and they can tell you to get lost. She transfers him to a person who's actually leasing jumbos. This person tells Richard, look, Mr. Branson, in every country, we have one customer. And in the UK, that is British Airways. So we have nothing to talk about. So he says, well, just humor me for a second. He said, if British Airways called you and said that they wanted to lease old used jumbo, do you have one lying around? So the guy says, as a matter of fact, we do, but that's academic. He says, well, what would you lease it to British Airways for? Just since we're having a conversation. What ended up happening is Boeing leased him that jumbo. And the reason they leased him the jumbo is they had one just sitting around. So they didn't really have any risk because they said the moment the guy doesn't make any payments, we're going to pull the plane. Now, when you have an airline, you sell all the seats 4 months in advance. The cash has already come in. You pay for the fuel 30 days after the plane lands. And you pay for the lease after the plane lands. You don't need any capital. Virgin Atlantic got off the ground with zero capital. Now, if you can start an airline which needs a jumbo with zero capital, you can start any business with zero capital. Okay?